Okay,
30
come on.
Hello, and welcome to the tour page. I'm your host, Solid Inc., and this is
Vega, and then this
Vega.
is,
I love how he just says Vega. It's just Vega.
and then like this is episode
Vega.
three, where like we talk about left turns in comics. Again, I am the greatest man in the world. I am Straight Edge, and I am part of one half of the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, we're so getting sued for that. I mean, I probably don't even know who we are, but we're probably getting sued.
Yeah, probably.
Probably getting sued.
Probably. One day in like the near future, as soon as we make it rich.
Oh yeah, then they'll decide to come after us at that point. I can see that. It's like these guys.
Oh yeah, and then like segueing into our like last video.
Left turns.
You like already know what it's like gonna happen.
Oh, you think you know what's gonna happen?
My squid god is God.
The squid god.
He cannot.
We're editing this out of the video. We're so editing this out of this.
Oh no.
You and your
Aquaman cannot beat Cthulhu. First.
Wait, how did that even come out to verses? I was assuming, I was under the impression Cthulhu was some type of liquidy aqua god, and that if Aquaman had control over him or able to make him do stuff, then yes, he'd be a credible threat because he has Cthulhu, which is like an underwater fucking super god.
Oh yeah, and
some great darkness thing.
And
those H.P. Lovecraft stories are just awesome sometimes, but man, they can get downright confusing.
Yeah, and then like I said, that was a left turn.
That was our left turn, yes.
And then we will be talking about left turns in comics.
Or and what I would call them, asshole writers writing themselves in a hole. See, try saying that 5 times fast.
Writing yourself into the hole, writing yourself into the hole,
yourself in the hole. No, the whole thing.
Fuck.
Asshole writers writing themselves into a hole. Try saying that 5 times fast. And like, just when you think about it, you're like, oh man, that's never happened. But when a story ends and it makes no complete sense, then yeah, it happens. It happens in comics a lot more than people give it credit for.
So then like we will also be talking about introducing and then reintroducing characters. And we will be talking about unexpected changes to the cast,
plot devices,
and mainly writers just digging their own grave. Talk about one sentence, one word, one letter, one space, one syllable at a time. Yeah. That
was way too poetic. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, it happens. I mean, for manga, it doesn't happen as much. Mm-hmm. You rarely see it. I mean, in anime, they kind of write themselves into a hole because they're so away from the actual source material. But for American comics, for Western comics, it happens a lot often than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
So like you expect it to end one way and it doesn't, especially without proper plot device. Especially if the concept of telling a story is supposed to end in a certain way. So like for example, Death of Barry Allen, the Crisis of Infinite Earths, when he's running around that anti-monitor's machine, and you're like, all right, cool, he's gonna make it. But then as the panels are slowly being drawn out to him, like kind of fading, and you're like, oh man, he's gonna come back. He's got the Speed Force, and he's gonna make it. He doesn't come back for 20 some odd years. Like, yeah, that's a left turn. That's a huge left turn.
Yeah.
And even with the introduction and reintroduction of so many flashes throughout that time, complete left turn. Another left turn. Death of Jason Todd. Although, to be fair, unexpected because his death was phoned in or voted in.
Yeah, so then like it was like a 50-50 choice between like the fan base, and then this would not be like complete without the number one left turn in all comics, the death of Gwen Stacy.
That's when comics got a little bit more real than they should have, because comics are meant to be whimsical.
A little bit.
And now you're telling me that characters can die and leave long-lasting effects mentally on the hero, on the main character like Peter Parker, and
besides Batman.
Oh yeah, but it's long-lasting effects now, and you can use those long-lasting effects to write new stories. But when it comes to writing yourself into a hole or left turns, happens all the time, especially with the introduction and reintroduction of characters.
just like in the Secret Wars with like Captain America, probably one of our most recent examples of the like entire franchise.
Oh, you mean Secret Empire?
Oh yeah, my bad. Secret Empire. Sorry.
No, even then, when they wrote themselves into a hole with the current the recently done Secret Wars, when God Doom was sitting on top of everything, and they're like, oh, how are you gonna stop a guy who's got all this power? Like, don't get me wrong, the story was drawn out, a little epic. The final battle was epic because there was reintroductions of so many characters you thought were dead and that you didn't think were coming back. It just was like, okay, well, how do you end it? Well, Molecule Man's gonna give Reed Richards the same powers as Doom, and we're gonna let them fight it out. We already knew how that was gonna go down. As soon as Molecule Man's like, oh well, done. That's it.
Oh yeah, but then one of my favorite left turns, and I would say all of Marvel, was like when Reed Richards became evil.
Okay.
He became evil.
Okay, I would say.
Honestly,
to clarify,
the founding member of the Fantastic Four.
To clarify, he was from the Ultimate Universe. If anyone ever read the Ultimate Universe of Marvel Comics, you know that that was Left Turn City. It was a reimagining of all of their mainstream characters. It was their way of telling a different story. So
I know, but then like in Left Turns, that one was pretty epic because Reed Richards has always been in that moral gray area, but then always on the good side of things, and then like he came. Became evil, and then just killed. Just like went ham on people.
Well, if I remember correctly, the Blob ate Susan Storm.
Yes.
I forget how his whole team died.
Yeah.
They all died. Johnny Storm died. No, Johnny Storm did not die.
No, we did not.
Thing died. They listen. The girl he was in love with since meeting her in that whole Ultimate Universe, which is actually pretty badass. And Ultimatum is where she died off. He went insane. Of course he did. He went insane. If you didn't read that, honestly, from the time Reed Richards becomes a bad guy, or the death of Sue Storm, and his whole super city and all that, it was actually pretty epic, especially when the United States was split apart. But those are left turns. Yeah. I mean, that whole story took a complete left turn.
Oh, yes,
so with things going down the way they did, it happens.
Oh yeah. So then, and saying that, those are some of our most recent examples of like left turns in comics. But then I would like to shine like a glossy little light on manga, because there are far and few examples of left turns. I will say that
the death of Ace in One Piece.
Yeah,
that was a left turn. That was
the death in Ace and One Piece, because Luffy goes in to save his brother talking about and then you have the Whitebeard pirates, and then their entire thing, entire army militia, behind them.
I shed some
Luffy's replacement crew, which was actually pretty badass, I will say.
Oh yeah, they were pretty cool. That was a pretty badass crew, though.
Oh yeah, talking about some how the hell do you get all those niggas working together? Pretty much. Sorry about that.
I don't know. For more lack of a better term, I don't know. The writing, who knows with the writing?
Yeah.
It's One Piece. You never know what direction they're gonna go in, actually.
Oh yeah.
But the killing of Ace was not the direction they should have went. Not the direction.
Oh yeah, but then I will say that that one is something, we all thought, because prior to that point in the story, Luffy just slowly began running over people. Up until that point, he hasn't really suffered any real major losses, but then I will say that this one kind of stepped in at the perfect time, because when he got truly involved with the world government, the admirals and everything, that he just suffered loss after loss after loss as soon as
they were break powerful.
Those
dudes are badass.
Oh yeah, and they realized
very well written. in terms of their character.
Oh,
So yeah, they were
man,
pretty
definitely,
badass.
man, that they were badass. As man, that they proved Luffy's place in the world at that one given time. That like, okay, he might have been like a strong upstarter, but that brought his power level back down to earth.
Power level. Let's stay away from that concept. Let's stay away from that concept. Power levels. Some people are pissed out there about that concept. All right?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. He didn't mean that. He didn't mean that. We don't do power levels on this show.
Yeah. So then, like you're saying that, another rare example in like manga is Gantz, the death of Kurono.
Yeah, death of him, his whole team in many respects. Jesus Christ.
Manager's game.
And then they kept going. Like you're like, whoa, seriously? We're just gonna keep going with this whole thing?
Game and throning the like entire story.
Yeah.
Talking about, okay, man, you like that character?
He's done.
Dead. You like him?
Dead.
Done.
Yeah. It's like
you like your girlfriend?
Nah, you can keep her. Yeah. Well, no, if it
keep her, then die.
Then die. Yeah. So it was all for nothing on that point.
A secret operation, public, cool, then dead. Gotcha.
It happens.
Oh yeah.
It happens.
Oh yeah. And then they like decided to do this whole alien invasion thing.
Oh yeah, with the aliens that could pretty much, I wouldn't say do whatever they want, but they had some pretty kick-ass powers.
Oh
They had some pretty kick-ass abilities.
Oh yeah. I will say that, like, those two things were like left turns in comics because I felt that they could have.
Or manga.
Oh yeah, and like manga mainly, but then like I feel that one particular a little thing could have been left out. Be like, okay, invading force. Be like, okay, hey, that they got tired of humans killing their kind. But then like when like you find out that like, hey, this invading alien race is not only aligned with not in line with the people you were like already killing, that they were actually enslaving them. And then people,
what a twist!
And then the people that they were killing was actually running away from them and not choosing to do any harm to them until the Gantz team, that they realized that like this fat chick in Germany is like spewing out locations of like all of this these like runaway aliens, and then it spreads the Gantz into copying people.
It evolves.
Yeah.
Not dramatically, but it just evolves wildly.
Yeah. So then like, okay, if you're looking for like crazy left turns in like comics, I would definitely recommend Gantz, definitely, man, because that is wild. Talking about that they had a concept and they ran with it. To like
all over the place.
To like crazy conspiracy theories to the point that like, that like, okay, I was anticipating it and then getting pissed off because even though that they were like, releasing bi-weekly, or then at least in America at the time that I kept on getting pissed off that they wasn't doing it fast enough.
Selfish much?
No.
Then again, you're not the only one. People out there love their comics. They love their reading material. And listen, if they could put it out fast enough, would it be as enjoyable, more or less? Before we continue, would it be as enjoyable? Especially since the story would technically kind of suck.
No, it would not.
It's either going to be
but then I got onto Gantz when like it was very early on in the process that like a lot of things were not clearly explained, defined, and they were suffering from like a mild case of hiatus.
Because they're still fleshing it out.
Yeah.
Still fleshing out. And it's left turns like that help that story evolve. Listen, left turns are needed. I don't often like them because sometimes I feel like, all right, there's a couple of writers, not Ed Brubaker, because he's amazing.
I will say a left turn that like was needed was in Hajime no Ippo, when like he suffered his very first loss, when he suffered his second loss, and like had to like pretty much come back.
Okay,
like,
listen, I wouldn't say that was a left turn because in manga,
like I said, that was a left turn that was needed. Talk about this guy was on fire. Talking about like just knocking out people, left, right.
But then
right.
Okay, so here's the thing: if he is consistently winning, and yes, it told a very good story. And if he has no losses yet, it's almost expected for him to take a loss. And here's what I mean by a real left turn, right? In terms of Secret Empire now. Anybody who's out there reading it now, spoiler alert, we already know that they killed the Hulk off. what was it, last year in the Civil War II, which was trash. Killed him off. That was a left turn because you're expecting this huge, somewhat colossal battle out with the Hulk, but no, they killed him off very quick, fast, and in a hurry. Like they dispensed of that business immediately.
Oh yeah,
you know,
but because no one wants like another World War Hulk going on.
No.
And then when he came back, man,
he wrecked him. He wrecked him.
Man,
but
he wrecked him rightfully so.
But with the recent comic coming out, especially with Secret Empire still going on, and Captain America monologue. I don't know what it is. Side note: Captain America's monologues have been the best they've ever been since Secret Empire. Like that, he is on a monologuing. Like I kind of like, can you just speed up? But it's just really good. But away from that, he's sitting there. Last issue, he's talking to Bruce Banner, right? And now the Avengers are at their last base, and they're it's built to withstand everything from Thor to Juggernaut, you name it, is built to withstand it. It's Tony Stark. He's the fucking man to building shit. But you find out Captain America's talking to Bruce Banner, and then he's still monologuing, and then Bruce Banner's like, I'm not gonna help you. You're with Hydra. Captain America's like, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the Hulk, and then out of nowhere, the Hulk just emerges, and I'm like, it's not about to be a fun time. And then Captain America, Hulk, they go and attack the Avengers base. And I mean, it's left turns like that make the story interesting and gives them a new way to develop the story, or a further way to develop the story with an ending in mind without having themselves being written in a hole. Because sometimes you have stories where that just kind of drag on for no reason. Prime example, Clone Wars, Spider-Man. What else? Onslaught. The original Onslaught saga. Written themselves into a hole. You could tell that it was dragging on a lot longer than it needed to be, but it happens.
Okay. Let's talk about, I would say left turns in the cast and everything.
A cast? But that kind of cycles back into the concept of, the story in and of itself. Because if you introduce a character who his sole purpose is
They kill Glenn.
Okay.
They kill Glenn.
Okay, here we go.
They kill Glenn in both the comic and then the TV series. But then, I would say, back in the comic, Glenn was that beloved character that, literally, when you send him into danger,
he always comes back.
He came back.
Always came back.
He came back. When I talk about that, everyone else might have died around him, but he came back.
He came back.
He came back.
He always came back.
Rick lost a limb, Glenn came back whole.
He came back whole. Well, but to be fair, okay, so if you haven't been reading this entire time and watching this entire time, if you read the comics and when you got up to The Walking Dead, the series, and you knew Negan was being introduced, there was no other character you were going to go to next.
Yeah.
And you knew he was being introduced. If you read it, you already kind of had a gut feeling that they were going to kill off Glenn, because that was the biggest surprise in the Walking Dead series. And the people that he was rolling with, they all still have very more important roles to play in terms of how the story progressed.
Oh yeah,
Glenn had to go.
Oh yeah, and then shout out to Mr. Dark Phoenix, because I've actually sat down, had this argument multiple times before the episode actually aired and explained the progression of events, and then I told him that it was all supposed to be canon, that this guy was supposed to die, and then he pointed out that Rick's hand was ever cut off in the TV series.
Yeah,
so,
true, left turns, like that.
Oh yeah, Minnesota. Then I was just okay, but they have no. If they're gonna introduce a character, this is how he introduce himself. Oh, he kills the unkillable guy. Alright, without knowing it and caring about it.
And then you get intrigued by Negan, and a lot of people that were in love with Glenn are now Negan fans. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then I will say that they did pick out the right guy for Negan.
Oh, what? Yes. Absolutely.
I'm still in love with it, and then Negan is gonna be one of them characters that sticks around for seasons to come if you are not updated with the comics.
Yeah, he's still alive.
He sticks around. He survives it all. He survives it all and more.
Yes, past the Whisper War and whatever they're currently doing now.
I think they did. They just finished up the Whisper War.
Yeah.
War, and they're onto something else. I gotta get like actually caught up after the Whisper War. Or I've been slacking. I've been working too much, 50-hour weeks. Blah blah blah.
Sounds like a lot of complaining. I'm just saying. Just,
Blah blah blah. But then,
Sounds like a lot of
but then like I do need to make a stop to my local comic store or like go on Comixology. Actually, on the side note, if you do want to get into comics and you do not know where exactly to start, or want to waste money to start. I would say Comixology Unlimited is about $5.99 a month. Don't quote me on that. You can check them for that. They give you like a plethora of first and second issues, first and second volumes for free, just with that monthly subscription of $5, $6, $7.
Yeah, but with left turns and comics and all that, you're talking about them being introduced to comics and characters that they have no goddamn clue what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this out right now. Listen, Comics Explained does it the best.
Yes.
He does it the best.
Yes, he
like when he says that this is the best starting point for people who have no idea what these characters are, and that they saw something on television that they possibly like. That's the best place to start. Check his channel out.
Okay, and then I can hear him actually saying that. I would say check out Variant Comics. It's not so much for the content because I believe he does get a lot of things wrong, and then we're
freeballing this like crazy. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get corrected up the wazoo right now.
Yes we are. All right,
freeballing this right now.
But
it's like, you know what? Drop the ball. Let's see where it goes.
But then he does give you actual story arcs to begin. And talk about credible actual story arcs that you could begin after every single video he does. So then he'll be check out Secret Empire, or then Fantastic Four's version in Civil War. Or giving you key points in the actual overall story to check out. And then some are canon, some are standalones. But then he still gives you great starting points.
I mean, we could do it ourselves,
but they do it already.
They did it already. More importantly, we're more focused on the concept of how to be in the business. And explaining the business and where it's heading now. Being in it and where it's heading now.
So then and I'm doing this, we're just talking about our favorite left turns right now.
But those left turns are
kind of epic.
For more or less epic, but if you're talking about being in the business,
you gotta understand.
You gotta understand them. You gotta understand why they're done. You gotta understand how to make them effectively. And there are some great stories out there with some great left turns that, as writers and even as artists and illustrators, that you look at them, you're like, wow, that was actually pretty cool, and it makes you feel some type of way. It has a personal connection to you. Strikes a chord, and it's a very entertaining story. Sometimes they just don't make a damn lick of sense.
And then I can personal.
I'm looking at you, Clone Wars.
And then I can personal when the left turns, you kind of get attached to the character. Why the Last Man? The ending.
Yeah.
I would say this, that hey, if you had not read Why the Last Man, it answers the age-old question: if you were the last guy on Earth, what would you do? And then in this guy's case, he was just yo, I just want to find my girlfriend. I just want to fucking find my girlfriend. And then he gets talked into finding a scientist that way he could repopulate the Earth and everything through genetic cloning maybe because he is the only person that survived this plague. It turns out he wasn't the only one, but then they gave somewhat of an explanation that it was just a freak accident that he actually survived.
That's all it is.
And
but there's so much more to the story.
There is. So then 10 volumes later and everything towards the very end of the story, it's okay, he finally finds this girl, but then he just yo, I don't want to be with you. It ain't what I thought. Only. Actually, let me backtrack and let me restart this. Okay.
Oh my God, we're not even doing this now. We're not even doing this.
One second. No. Okay, he sleeps with this random girl along the way. Ends up getting this chick pregnant, and then he doesn't know about it. Finds
It's still more spoilers.
Oh,
All right, we're done
finds
here.
his girl, finds out.
Spoilers.
Finds out. Out that like that like he does not want to be with her, and then
You're just
and
spoiling the story. They're not gonna even read it
and
now.
then the girl he actually wants to like be with.
Can you believe this guy?
Be with dies.
Spoilers for people who did not read it. And before you go on and say, "Well, I spoiled Secret Empire,"
and
he's just gonna keep going.
And then the
He's just gonna keep
entire
going.
story, lays all this out in a beautiful way. To like be like serious nigga, seriously,
We're doing
you want to end the story like that?
You're seriously just gonna keep going to spoilers. Listen, before you go on to the fact that yes, I may have spoiled Secret Empire, but so many people are covering it right now. If you haven't hit spoilers, it's ridiculous. But this is something nobody may have not read, and you're just let me just spoil the whole goddamn story. 10 volumes deep.
I am perfectly happy with that actually, man. Because why the Last Man is.
He's perfectly happy with that.
It's like one of my all-time favorites. It's next. It like ranks up there with like the ending to like DMZ to me.
Don't go doing any of that. You shut up right now when it comes to they do not deserve that. They don't.
DMZ? No, they don't.
Good.
No.
Yeah.
Man, that's a story that like I would not ruin.
I'm gonna cut your mic at this point, Mike.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then finally, our final left turn will be in Lock and Key. Now, Solid. Where do we begin on Lock and Key?
Read it. That's it. Read it. That's all. I don't even think I have the time or would want to explain it first and foremost.
It is written by Joel Hill. It is the best. No, it is the best graphic novel out there since Watchmen.
I promise you right now. You go anywhere near spoilers. For those who have not read it, I'm cutting your mic. I'm done.
It's like full of left turns.
It's full of turns, but it's really an enjoyable read. And in terms of creativity, I think it's something a lot of people can.
It is the most original story I have read in a very long time. Its pacing is great. The crap that happens in that comic book, you would not think is be like, is that really allowed? Oh man, did they just print it and sell it and allow me to read it?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and then it makes you
Thank God there's not a comics code anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh God, thank God.
Because that I don't think that book would have made it. Honestly.
Thank Cthulhu.
Thank Cthulhu. You and your Squid God nonsense is ridiculous.
Thank God. Oh,
Squid God, it's ridiculous. But yes.
Thank him.
Hey, left turns. A lot of them happen in comics. A lot of them are really unnecessary, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But
the comic business in general has taken a huge dramatic left turns.
Oh yeah, but then in general, these are some of our favorite left turns. And in our very next video, we will be talking about simple ways on how to get started in the industry.
Yeah, we're actually gonna have the point of our show be the focal point of our show. I'm just saying.
I know. Episode 4. Here we go. We are done with these fillers.
I would say fillers. I mean, we're going to have multiple small episodes in between here and there of different things that we're focusing on.
Oh, yeah.
Drawing, illustration, writing, all types of things when it comes to focusing on the business.
Oh, yeah. But then, we will be talking about actually how to get started. Simple ways for artists to, begin getting, recognition out there. Yeah, how to get started. How to begin,
finding I wouldn't say a legit job,
but then finding ways, simple ways of how to make money. Talking about if you are creative, how exactly do you go about it? Very simple ways on just how to make money.
You say simple ways now, but it does get, I wouldn't say wildly complex, but it does get involved at some point.
Yeah,
it does get involved, and at that point there's no simple way around it.
Oh yeah, but then I will say that this is the first step in a very long step
First step in a very long process.
In a very long process, yes, and then journey we all take as like the creators. It is pretty much on like how to get started. We will be referencing Mr. Dark Phoenix in our next video very heavily because he did ask us our like opinions on like a few things and is trying to get us to do like a little bit of like side work for him.
We're still doing that? I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry, that was terrible. That would have been terrible.
Well, like when we're doing it, when we're taking them through like a journey of our process of like doing things. So then I think in the next video, on like how to get started, simple ways on like how to get started and like the industry, as like artists and like creators and stuff like that. After there are subtle, simple ways, probably people have.
I think they got the simple part, by the way. Just saying.
Simple plan on how to get started.
And focusing on the business in general. And like I said, I said a while ago.
Oh yeah, that like you.
It's a great time to be in the business.
That you probably have not thought of, or then you saw and just bypassed it because you thought it was like a waste of time, when actually it could just get your name out there. For just
it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you, especially when you're talking about, let's say, for example, starting your website. Things of that nature. But that's on our next episode. Logos. But that's on our next episode. Yeah. So, this is Solid Ink.
I am Vega.
We're signing off.
Have fun. So,
don't you...
So, in the Thundercats hole this time? Thundercats hole.
I quit this show. We're done. We're so done. Are you seriously thinking about getting a Thundercats hole out of me?
Yeah.
No, it's not gonna happen.
I think Thundercats hole is like perfect.
No, it's
okay. Cool.
It's not.
We are now signing off. Thundercats hole. Please convince this guy to do it with me.
No.
It'll be like a lot more fun.
No, it's never gonna happen.
Okay.